Hello and welcome. I'm so honored and so happy to have you here for 30 Days Strong. We are on day 7. Day 7. Woo! So I'm really, really, really pumped and stoked, and I feel so alive today. And for those of you who got a chance to make that moon water, it was a wonderful experience that I did with my family. I'm so glad that I got to share that with you. There's more amazing tips and cool things that I'm going to share with you that you can do to really actualize your energy and your spirit and really transform your energetic field into this powerful love tank, right? It's this powerful love tank that nothing can stop and nothing can get in your way because you just go like whoosh right through, right? So there's no hesitation in your life to be your most powerful lit self. And I'm really, really, really excited about that. And I'm really thankful and grateful for all of you for showing up for your 30 days strong and really being the powerful leader and master that you are, right? This true embodiment of divine principle and love held inside of you that goes out into the world, into this beautiful tidal wave, this beautiful tsunami of love, and creates this rippling effect just because you're taking care of yourself and you're providing information and knowledge and nourishment to yourself. The more you do that, the greater and more powerful you become, right? Because then you begin to understand that autonomy and you begin to recognize yourself as this being that is operating in the knowledge that you get to create sustainable joy, you get to create sustainable health, you get to create sustainable well-being, and you're thriving and you're alive. And that's what it's about, right? Especially during the blackout, right? During this time of the blackout, we want to thrive and we want to be alive and we want to feel good and we want to wake up and we want to feel lit and we want to jump out of bed and be like, oh yeah, come on, life. I gotcha. We got this, right? So I'm really excited about that energy that we're creating every single day by being in 30 Days Strong and really holding that space for each other to just grow and expand and prosper in the nature of our being. And that's something really powerful and so dear to my heart to see and provide for you to see your amazingness, right? Because the worst thing in life is when someone puts themselves above you and talks down to you, and we can't have that anymore. Like that whole experience of like hierarchy and all of this spiritual stuff that I see in the health and wellness world of like, people who put themselves up on this pedestal, that has to come down today, right? Because there is no one higher. It doesn't matter if you have more money or you live in a big house or you drive a fancy car. There is no one higher than you. We are all in this planet experience together. And if you ask me, I think that knowingness of that is really important. So that way we never second guess ourselves and we never look at another person and go, oh, they're so much better than me. No, you are amazing. You exist. Acknowledge that you exist. Because if you exist, that means you have value. Because God doesn't make mistakes and God doesn't create just for the sake of creating. There's intention, there's love, there's devotion. And that's why spirit is so much about you, right? And I'm so much about you being your best self, living your best life. Why? Because you matter, right? Because you exist. That means that the mother-father principle of love realized that you needed to be created because you value, not just on the earthly level, but on a planetary level and universal level and intergalactic level, you matter, okay? So everything that I do and give to you is because I know you matter and I need you to be fortified, strong in your power where no one can come in and speak any words over you unless it's coming from unconditional love and acceptance and them seeing your truth as I see your truth, as God sees your truth, as the angels, the masters, and the teachers, and everyone sees your truth. We don't got no time for that. We have no time for that, right? We only have time for people who want to lift and shift our planet and create a new paradigm that invites an all-inclusive understanding of growth, maturity, and the ability to thrive as a species, as a planet, with the animals and with nature, and be in this very cohesive agreement to love and lift each other always. That's it. All the other stuff, gone. Gossip, gone. Nonsense, gone. Like anything where someone says something to you that is not pure love, gone. No time for that. None. No time for that. So that brings us to today in our shamanic teaching. It's called push. And I love this teaching, push. I teach a lot of my students this. And when they really practice it and master it and really get the hang of it, they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe what I was capable of doing, which is like so amazing, right? Okay. So first thing, we're going to give you some information about what push is, okay? So in life, as you're going through life and transversing through life, energies are always coming at you. You may be aware of some of them because you've had experiences of them early in your childhood from either your parents or your peers or school teachers or whoever you've dealt with, right? So you're aware of certain frequencies and certain energies that you have been aware of since you were a kid. So you naturally look for those energies to show up again and again and again. And you've built a relationship with those energies, and that's why you notice them. So, sometimes someone may be talking to you and you'll be like, I don't really like the tone of your voice. Or you might say, your energy that you're giving me is uncomfortable. That's because you're aware of that energy. And so you can spot it like super quickly, right? Because you've already built a relationship with that frequency, right? And it doesn't mean that you want that frequency in your life. It's just that you're aware that it exists. And so for your mind has already blueprinted that information, the knowledge and everything of that frequency. So you naturally see it in your environment or around you, right? So the key element is understanding that just because you're aware of energy doesn't mean you need to take it in and put your attention on it. We have to really decide what type of energies and frequencies we allow in our life, and also what energy and frequencies we have no time for, right? Again, I'm gonna put that in your head. I don't got no time for that. I don't got no time for that, right? And that's the energy of really saying like my frequency, my consciousness, my heart, my everything, my total embodiment has no time for that frequency. And so therefore, once you identify and acknowledge that, you realize that that is no longer necessary to show up in your life, and therefore less and less of that frequency will be acknowledged. So literally what happens is you have two ways of acknowledging and accessing frequency. So when you are aware of a frequency, most times what we do is we interact with it. We go, oh, like let's say for instance, someone's talking to me and they say something and I feel energy coming underneath their words, because most people don't realize that words are codes, but the emotion and the energy that moves those words into your ears have frequencies. And sometimes people will say, I don't like the tone of your voice, or I don't know, I feel something off with you. And that's because you're picking on a frequency. And what you want to do, the moment you feel a negative frequency like that, you simply say, I reject this frequency. I do not allow this frequency into my consciousness, into my body, into my awareness. I can be aware of it, but not to the point where I engage it. And it's really important to understand that. You don't have to engage every code that's being sent to you from the matrix, from the billboards, from your friends at the breakfast table, at the lunch table, from your parents or people who may not understand you or understand the path that you're on, that you're riding the lit train and you're not going to get off that lit train, right? You're riding the lit train and you're not getting off because you understand what it means to truly step into leadership. And leadership is not becoming a bobblehead like we talk about in spirit hacking, or being a sheeple, right? And just going and doing whatever everyone tells you to do because you want to be socially accepted, right? You don't got no time for that. I'm going to get that programmed into your subconscious. You don't got no time for that. See my face? You don't got no time for that. See my hands? Just like, see that? When the nonsense comes, you don't got no time for that. So what you do have time for is love, generosity, kindness, compassion, understanding, intimate conversations, healing conversations, elevating conversations. You do have time for that. You have time for things that are lifting and shifting, and you have time for things that are amplifying love into the world. Other than that, you have no time for any of the rest of it. Okay? Anytime someone's talking to you about gossiping about someone, you have no time for that. Anytime someone's telling you a horrible story, you have to stop and say, I hear your story. Tell me what is the turnaround in your story that is going to lift you and shift you. We are not going to spread more negativity on this planet. As you can see, what has happened because of the onslaught of the negativity that we have not cleaned up and taken responsibility for. We can see what's happening with the whole coronavirus. There are no mistakes in the universal field of consciousness. What we project, we get back to us, right? So it's time to project and create from a space of true consciousness. Now, I'm going to tell you that again, true consciousness. That means, what is true consciousness? That means I'm not going to sit, and tell you all the horrible things that I went through and leave it like that. If I'm going to tell you things that I went through, I'm going to tell you about the wisdoms, the strengths, and the powers that I gained from going through those things. But I'm not going to dwell in using my consciousness, my words, or my ears to listen to nonsense in life. We have to make a decision today, everyone. We have to make a decision to not put our energy in nonsense, in negativity, and things that are literally clouding our vision of possibility and creation from manifesting the greatest life we could ever live while having time on this planet with everyone. So no more time for that. Okay. So one of the things that happens a lot is when people are spreading that negativity and communicating that negativity into the world, it becomes like this murky, dark cloud. I don't know if you guys ever experienced it before, but someone has these emotions and they're empathic and they don't realize that they're pushing negativity into the room, creating this black smoke, this negative cloud. Or you might go to a restaurant and you feel like there's these people having an issue and there's all this spewing of negativity. When people don't realize that every time a couple and a relationship argues and doesn't realize that each person is there to help each other to grow, but they're stuck in the I'm hurt body experience, they start creating this murky, yucky, like energy cloud that's like all like blah, 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 blah. Right? And literally it's like this, it's like this inky mist. This is when you use this shamanic technique, and not just in that, but also when you feel like other people's glomming energy. I call it glomming, when they glom onto you with their thoughts and their emotions because they're afraid of life, or they're afraid of being lit, or they're afraid of what greatness can come into their life if they shifted their perspective. So they want to project all that into your space. You got to do this thing. It's called shamanic pushing, okay? And it's so wonderful because there's so many empathic people in the world who are dysfunctional empaths. And when I say dysfunctional empaths, they want you to feel the pain they're going through. So they push it out energetically into our world. And we have to walk through it. We have to be in it. We have to live with it. We have to have it around in our relationships and friendships and just, yeah, that's basically how it feels. It's like, right? So shamanic pushing allows you to move the energy of empathic frequencies, energetic discharges that are discordant and destructive out of your energetic field, from your consciousness, from your emotions, and from your body. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus on something that you really, really love, okay? Because love is what pushes that energy away and brings it into light. So not only we're going to push it away, when we use love as the formula, right, in everything that we do, it literally transmutates, transforms, and transfigurates energetic frequency. That's the best thing you can do. Like if someone's in the hospital and sick and you walk into that room and you're like, please, please, please get better. Let me explain to you what you are actually doing is making them more sick and making them believe in their reality of that illness, of that sickness, of what pain they're going through. You do not support people by buying into the reality that you know is possible to change through energy. And that is the reason why you don't react into it. And that we will talk about that in other shamanic trainings. However, for today, we're going to practice pushing energetic frequencies, discordant frequencies, destructive frequencies, aggressive frequencies out of our space. Literally, I love it so much. I was at a party once. My friend is DJing, okay? And there's these two guys on the dance floor starting to talk to each other. Everyone sees that it's getting heated. The guy pushes the other guy. The other one pushes back. You can see it's going to turn into a brawl. My friend looks at me and he goes, Durek, can you handle this? I'm like, I got this. I got this. So I stepped in front of the DJ booth and pushed shamanic energy using shamanic pushing and basically cleared all the negativity. The guys didn't end up fighting each other. And in fact, they actually started to hug each other and hug it out. Now, talk about that for progress, right? And that's what this power does. It allows you to change energetic frequency in any situation. And so what you're going to do is simple exercise. Take a deep breath. Great. Now, focus on something that you love, okay? So for me, I love everyone in this world, and I love all the butterflies and the animals and the creatures and everything. So for me, I'm going to focus on all of that, okay? So focus on everything that you love. Wait till you feel that love, okay? And now, if you have a difficulty focusing on something that you love, you can activate your soul by saying, I want you to generate the highest source of unconditional love and acceptance through your being now. That's a little cheat sheet if you don't get into getting to the other part. Good. Now, as you feel that, I want you to imagine like there's a wall around you, okay? And what you're going to do with your feelings and your mind, you're going to push the wall away from you and breathe. Keeping your eyes at a gaze. You're going to push the wall away from you. Now, again, as I said, if you can't get into the space of going to the thing that you love the most, please, again, you will say direct communication to your soul. I want you to generate the highest source of unconditional love and acceptance through your body now. And then just push the energy and keep pushing. Now, this is going to be a shamanic practice. Usually my students will practice this until they become stronger and stronger doing it. And when you go around people who are negative, don't even say anything. Don't even open your mouth. Just start pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. And what you want to do is you want to feel that you push that love outward. Go as far as you can. The more you practice, the stronger you will get. Not everything in shamanism can be taught in one day, my loves. It takes many years of things for me to teach you, but you are smart enough and powerful enough to understand it. It's your natural birthright. This is not similar to Reiki. No. And keep pushing and keep breathing. Keep pushing and keep breathing. Good. Now you'll know when the energy is cleared because it will feel light and airy and fluffy around you, and it's so wonderful and it feels so good. And so feel what that feels like around you. Now, let's say, for instance, you're dealing with someone who's in your space that is spewing negativity, just glomming up the energy fields around you. You walk home, the person you're with is turned the whole house into a black cloud of their emotional stuff because they want everyone to suffer like they suffer, or how they feel they're suffering. What I want you to do is to sit in the room and push towards them the same way you just did just now until you feel nothing but lightness in your body. Now, a way for you to check the energy so you can see is to take your hand, your left hand, and cover your navel. That beautiful belly button you have in your tummy, cover it completely and feel. You should feel a light, high vibration energy. This is knowing that you've pushed the energy in the right way. Now, this is pushing in your environment. Now, you're going to learn how to push within your entire four body system. Now, if you've taken the first class that we gave in 30 Days Strong, we talked about connecting into understanding your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body. You are four spirits, four pillars that fully have to be activated to access your higher awareness and your powers and your gifts on this planet, right? The four pillars have to see each other. That means your physical self has to see your emotional self. Your emotional self has to see your mental self. Your mental self has to see your spiritual self. Your spiritual self has to see all of them. Your mental self has to see all of them. Your emotional self has to see all of them. And your physical self has to see all of them. And when they do, that is when you're operating what I call sheer power. Okay? So, again, you're going to focus on your physical self. You're going to focus on love, something that you love the most. If you have a difficulty getting there, again, you will speak directly to your soul. I want you to generate the highest source of unconditional love and acceptance in your body right now. And then what you do is you just push through your four pillars, which is your four spirits. So you're going to push into your physical. Go ahead, breathe. And if you can see, as I'm pushing through my physical, I start to become more illuminated in my energy. I'm going to do it again. Then you're going to push through your emotional. And you know when you're doing it because you'll feel emotionally joyful and happy. You might even start laughing hysterically. And then you're going to push through your mental. And you'll know when you're pushing through your mental because your mind will only be set on unconditional love. And then you're going to push through your spiritual. And you'll know when you've pushed through your spiritual because you'll feel light in your body, almost like a light euphoric feeling coming over your system. And it's such a wonderful thing. And what happens to the negative energy is it turns back into light, which is what we're here to do. We're here to transform negative frequency, lower vibration, not run from it, because if you run from it, you're not honoring who you are. We transmutate, transfigurate, and transform through pushing and through shifting and lifting energy. We don't run from darkness. Remember that. We dig our heels in and we use our powers of the light. That's how we operate in this world. I love you so much. Isn't that exciting? Wasn't that fun? I encourage you to practice this technique. It's such a powerful technique. And the more you practice, the easier your push will be. I can push a whole room of people and shift the whole entire frequency and turn it into an amazing love fest because it's easy to push when you practice it. So practice shamanic pushing. Now, this is a level 1. There are higher levels of pushing where it gets more intense and more involved. But this is teaching you and getting you understanding of shamanic teachings and wisdoms so that you can bring these beautiful things into your life and keep yourself lit. So any energy that feels stagnant, heavy, dense, cloudy, gloomy, yucky, push it. Okay? It's really good for you and the people around you. And teaching your children how to do this is primo, plus, mega, must do on the list of yes, my kids must learn this skill. Okay? Because when kids learn how to push, they won't be affected by so much that's happening from, I teach kids, a lot of my kid students, when their parents are arguing or having difficulty or bickering, I tell them just stand near where they are or be in your room and push. And kids come to me and go, oh, I pushed it and they stopped arguing. I felt the energy shift. I didn't have to take it in emotionally and feel like I have to act out their emotions to get them to take responsibility for it. We have to honor our children. We have to safeguard our children from the nonsense as well, right? We don't have time for that. They don't have time for that. I love you so much. If you like the things I'm telling you and sharing with you, please check out Ancient Wisdom today. If you haven't had a chance to check out and send a video of you giving eyes of love to people around the world, check out my other site, eyesoflove_8, where we have people around the world sending videos of just beaming love into your body. I love you so much. We have amazing giveaways coming up to support everyone during this time and give more and more back to you because I love you and I want you to feel powerful, lit, and know that you are held. I hold you in my arms and I love you with the grace of God and the blessedness of the angels and the blessedness of your ancestors and the sacredness of our creation. I love you so, so much. Amala Ashe, Amala Ashe. I can't begin to tell you how much love I have for you all so much. So invite your friends to 30 Days Strong so they can get lifted and shifted during this time. We got this. Alive and thrive. That's what it's about. Mwah. I love you. Ow! Yeah.